Peace. Grand Rising. Good morning. Welcome. This is day 32, phase 4. I love it. I hope you love it. This is not for everyone, so don't worry about who ain't coming along on the journey. This is for you. This is your trek into the superhero space that you can now claim as your own. All right? So I'm glad you are here. I'm glad you have stayed focused. I'm glad that this is motivating you, inspiring you, healing you. Whatever it's doing to your soul, that was the purpose of it in the first place. So UrbanX, you know what we do. We bring it, and we're trying to make sure that you get something out of our presence here. We don't just want to take from you. We want to make sure we give at all times. Day 32's affirmation: the hardest day of your life. Wow, that's a tough question. What was the hardest day of your life? And some of you might say, man, I had to finally put that cocaine down, man, or I had to finally leave that individual I was with for 22, years, and it was the hardest day because of this and that, or, so there's so many answers to that question for so many people that before we even move forward, really take time to think about that. For me, it was accepting that, for the time being, that dialysis was gonna be my way of life. I waited to the last minute, and the doctor came in that office. If you've read my book, and he just said, look, you got about a week, man, and then the left side of your face is gonna fall down, you're gonna have a stroke, and you could die. That's how in denial I was. And then I had to really just make that decision and say, okay, Dwayne, this is the beginning of a new phase in your life. And it was that hardest day, and I called my wife in and said, all right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through with this, and then we'll figure it out as we go along. And so, that's important for us to reflect on what that hardest day was for each and every one of us. That's one of my hardest days. I've had a few. All right. Some days carve scars into our souls. All right. Some days they carve scars into our soul. Like it becomes a part of the essence of who we are. It's just, and these battle scars, they make you who you are in terms of your personality and what kind of hero you are. But still, some of them are real, real tough. Write about the hardest day of your life and how did it shape you. All right, just think about something you had to do. You might have had to leave a job that you liked. It just was a hard decision. Or you might have to let a family member go. No matter, you loved them, but you had to let them go. You might have a child that's addicted, and there's nothing else you could have did for that child. So you had to let that child grow because that child was going to bring you down at the same time. I'm just putting scenarios out there. What those hard days or that hardest day for you was. For some women, it could be, I had to get an abortion, and it was the hardest day because I really wanted this child, but I looked at my future situation and knew, whatever the scenario, write it down. All right? And your hero's note, even in my hardest moment, I survived. Of course. Of course you survived. You're still here, right? And you're here, you have lived to tell about it. And those lessons not only are for you, they're for anyone else who may be going through something similar. It's important that they know that they are not alone, right? What details from that day still live inside of you? All right? What details from that day, those kind of moments you usually can secrete in your bloodstream, that very emotion. And if you take time, not that you want to relive it, but, what part of it still lives inside of you, that you could conjure up or need to still address and say, I got to go back in my past and I need to heal this so that my future can excel. What did that version of you need most in that moment? Right? What did the version of you need most in that moment? What did you pull on? What courage? How did you feel after? How did you feel, once all the smoke cleared, right? And it looked like a very bad decision and it wound up being a very good decision. Or, how did it elevate you, Because there's different versions of you. There's a sympathetic, there's that strong version, there's that empathetic, you know what I'm saying? There's so many versions. Which one got you through that moment? How did surviving that day shape your resilience today? Whatever don't kill you only makes you what? Stronger. That's a fact. Whatever don't kill you only makes you stronger because it forces you to renew yourself. Right? You go through something, you got to shake that off and you have to renew yourself. And the new version of Dwayne, once I got my bearings, I was like, okay, here we go. Here we go. This is it. I still got work to do. I still want to live a plentiful life. Nothing can take me down. All right? So you're sitting here because the worst day didn't end you. It introduced you to your strength. Honor that survivor within you. Don't be so hard on yourself. Honor the survivor in you. Right? Yeah, it was tough. Yeah, it was. But guess what? I made it. Not only did I make it, I'm still here rocking. All right? Every one of us has a day that split our life into before and after. Right? Each and every one of us has a day where we can say before and after. Before this, after that. Right? The memory still lives in your cells, but so does the proof that you survived it. So everything is being recorded, everything in your life, every single moment. That's why a lot of people who have so-called near-death experiences say their whole life flashed in front of them like a hard drive that was being uploaded into the mainframe of the omnipresent, right? And then all of a sudden, you snapped out of it because it wasn't your time. And so you're back here on Earth to complete whatever that mission was. But you got a snapshot. You got a snapshot. As you write, don't relive the pain, witness the survivor. I'm going to say that again. As you write, don't relive the pain, witness the survivor. All right, that keeps us in the present. Notice the strength that rose in you, even in chaos. We are amazing beings. Sometimes I don't think we give ourselves enough credit for what we endure, But these evil ones, let's just call them the powers that be, whatever you want to call them, they continue to press us to see how much we can overcome. It's as crazy as it may seem. They're taxing us for this, take away that program, put that in place, watch the TV. And we just continue to overcome and endure because we are who we are. You are sitting here today because the worst day couldn't take you out. Now we're talking hero's journey stuff. What can take out Batman, right? You've seen him in his worst, and you've seen him overcome it. Or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. That's who you are. So all of these movies are just talking about aspects of who we are, but they put them in these cute little characters, to give us archetype symbols to, relate to, but it's all telling about the same story, the hero and shero's journey through this maze called life. All right? That day didn't break you. It revealed the steel in your soul. All right? So that steel in your soul, that armor that protects you from all outside interference. Yes? And so I want you to think about that as you write today. Of course, we want to give thanks for what we have. Let's not worry about what we don't have. We want to give grace. Even in the toughest situations, we have to give grace. And of course, my brothers and sisters, live, learn, laugh, and love. I love you, and I hope you love yourself. I can't wait until tomorrow. Peace and blessings.